Snap Publishing, where we discuss the secrets of Edward Leeds Scanlon's Coral Castle, how it pertains to the biblical narrative, King Solomon's Temple, and the Zodiac. All right, so this is a video that originally it was 10 minutes long. It was on one of my X accounts, and they ripped it down because I made a comment about Captain Kirk and not the one from Star Trek. So they made 3,000 followers disappear and about 6 videos that had, I think, 150 roughly likes. So this is, in my opinion, everything I say from here forward is a disclaimer. Has nothing to do with the script writers, the publishing people, the movie people, the production people, the advertising people. It's in my opinion. I'm entitled to my First Amendment rights. So you're getting it right from the horse's mouth, as I perceive it. But this is how movie scripts are actually things found in the Bible. And a lot of them have Greek legend, Hinduism, Zoroastrianism. But like I say in my other videos, they're all connected through the periodic table. So if you follow my other videos, you'll figure out how step by step, use the Noah's Ark approach, lower second and third meanings behind the biblical narrative. And this is why Satanists, leftists, all know the Bible better than Christians, because Christians handed it over to them. Here you go, Mr. Devil. I don't want to touch my own Bible. Ew. Just like Moses, when God said, lay your staff down, what happened? It turned into something evil as he perceived it. And he fled from before it. He's like, oh, like a little sissy. And God said, pick it up by the tail. So he did. And it turned back into a staff. This is how it works, people. The things that you think, oh, they're ticky-tacky, we don't want to get into it, oh, it's controversial. The people that are telling you that are in a secret organization, and they hope you never hear what I'm about to tell you. But we're going to get into one of the first movies, Matrix, in my opinion. All in my opinion. All right, so Neo is portrayed in the movie as Jesus. But actually, he's the spawn of Satan, who is Mr. Smith. All of these characters represent drugs. I know this might be a mind blower to you, but follow along and you'll see, yeah, that kind of makes sense. And the more you see it, like recently somebody's been on the internet talking about all these movies contain the black goo. What's the big mysterious black goo? It has different levels, like Noah's Ark, the Bible, the periodic table. It's layered. So black goo can represent heroin. It comes in 2 forms, of Mr. Brownstone, hello, and black tar, a resin. In the Bible, we hear about ships of Tarshish. These ships went out to bring back very expensive stuff for the merchants. And people are like, oh, what's this? Ships of Tarshish, they're so mysterious. No, they're not. They're petroleum products of the day that used to come up out of the ground that they used to cut in cakes, big chunks. Could be peat moss. Could be, what's the other one there? It's down in the Bahamas. Ships burn it, but I can't think of what it is. But it's a thick black goo. And you can go in and put it in 55-gallon barrels. They used to harvest that stuff and sell it back in the ancient world. Also, it has to do with drugs, heroin. It has to do with perfumes, resins. Guys, it's layers of the same onion. Come on, man. I know you got this. So these mysterious ships of Tarshish, you ask your Christian minister, what were those? Oh, I don't know, brother. Deuteronomy 29:29. Come on, guys. Jesus said, come on, I'm giving you the whole kingdom. Right? Don't be like my RCC, I won't mention the church, RCC brother, who believed, oh, the gifts of the Spirit are for in the next life. They were for the 12 apostles only. No. They're for here and for everyone. The baptism in with and of the Holy Spirit was for everybody, but I don't want to get on that road. So, in the movie, the guy in the beginning, Mr. Choi, his girlfriend had the white rabbit. Obviously, what's his name? Lewis Carroll, Alice in Wonderland references. But he says, oh, you're my own personal Jesus Christ, leading you thinking, oh, this is going to be a good movie. Neo is Jesus. Because neodymium in your periodic table, guys, it's all right here. You look in your periodic table down in the F block series. But if you look down here, you see Jesus hanging in the underworld. Lanthanide actinide series, the F block. That's a place where everyone goes, and if you're there, you're effed. Hello? I know you got this. But there he is hanging between the two thieves. Prometheus stole fire from the gods, and praesodymium means green jealous twin. Who's that? All the people in the Bible that got robbed. Rachel tried stealing Leah's husband because this firstborn was supposed to marry before the younger. She was ready to take her sister's husband, according to their code of beliefs. Jacob took what? Esau's birthright. Well, he kind of tricked him out of it, and the mom and the whole... Read the story. Don't be lazy. You got a whole Bible right here. You got a whole encyclopedia right here. I just got yelled at by one of my friends. He said, oh, you should be better at explaining things. No, you have an encyclopedia right here, lazy bones. Look it up. See this? This is what's known as a Bible app. It's a very good one. It's Tikata. All right, there it is. King James Version. Take time to learn it. Quit being lazy and fat-brained. These people, man, they want you, oh, spoon feed me. I need you to do all the research. No, lazy bones. It's in the Bible. Anyway, so we see this guy sets the pace for everyone getting led down this primrose path. Oh, Neo's the good guy. Okay. Here's how it really works. Up here in the center line of the temple, you'll see the same teal, black, and white. Black, teal, and white. That's on the very top. That's the first level of Noah's Ark, people. Using the Noah's Ark approach, the first level, where all the petable animals are. The lower, second, and third stories is here and here. This is not hard. This is actually the Ark. This is actually a singled out version of Edward's Castle. Come on, people. I know you can get this. So we see Mr. Smith comes from this area right here. And he's got two friends. Mr. Brown and Mr. Jones. Gee, I wonder who they could be. Mr. Brownstone. I don't have my fix of Mr. Brownstone or the black Tarshish. The black substance that keeps me going. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm having a Jones. I'm jonesing. Mr. Blacksmith is his real name. He represents Satan or heroin. H, the letter H, look where it is. You got hydrogen 1, protium, known as Molech, molecular hydrogen. Hydrogen 1, Molech, outside the temple. Hydrogen 2, deuterium, sitting over carbon. Hydrogen 3 sits over fluorine. That was the fall of Lucifer. It's in stone in Egypt in the 3 pyramid complex. The little tiny one, Mercury, yeah, that's H3. That's where Lucifer started. Then he fell and became the middle one. That's H2, deuterium. Book of Deuteronomy, sound familiar? Guys, they're taking your Bible and turning it around, and you don't even recognize it anymore because you're handing away your birthright, like Esau. Then you get, finally, where Lucifer led the rebellion from where? Over carbon. This is where Adam and Eve met Lucifer. This is where they met. Lucifer had beings with him, or it, and then they met Adam and Eve, and they all had this, God only knows what happened. They interfaced somehow, okay? And Lucifer took that 1/3 that did not side with God and fell to over lithium, right here. That's Lilith. So anyway, that's Smith, Brown, and Jones. Okay? That's who they are. That's Satan as H1, Molech, molecular hydrogen. That's Satan as H2, deuterium, or the pyramid known as Khafre. And that's Mr. Jones would be Mercury. That would be H3 tritium, by the way, who's Neo's girlfriend, Trinity. So anyway, John Wick is the new who Neo became, right? Look where that actor went. He may not even know how he got that part. Hollywood grooms these people and may not even bother to take the time to show the actor, hey, you know, they portray you as Jesus, but you're actually Satan. Oh, cool, man. Really? It's not cool. But anyway, he's playing John Wicked, in my opinion. Disclaimer, can't prove it. I'm not speaking for the production company. I'm telling you through my prism. My prism. Okay? Which I'm entitled to do. And you're entitled to listen to me. Isn't that funny how these actors get these roles? I could go on and on and on. Kevin Spacey, more than once, leapfrogged from one role to another. Why? Because his character is a layered character, people. Come on, guys. So anyway, the characters in Matrix represent people in the Bible. They also represent drugs of choice. Okay, Mr. Choi. His girlfriend, they literally mean, her name was de jour, right? Soup de jour. So Choi de jour means, essentially what they're saying is drug of choice. In that case, Mr. Smith's drug of choice is heroin. Okay? Now you come into these characters, DMT, dozer, mouse, tank, dimethyltryptamine, DMT. And then you got Trinity, Cypher, Switch, and Epoch, or APOC, which his name comes from Apocalypse. But anyway, let's roll on here. Mr. Choi can also be C12H16O2 with an I on the end. Okay? Because it's choice. 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 Drug of choice. So you could make a strong argument that his name is actually encoded the molecular structure of DMT. So anyway, Lewis Carroll wrote Alice in Wonderland in 1865, by the way. And then you see the tile floor in the weird building that they get trapped in. That's in the staircase with the black and white tiles. That's also a nod to Alice in Wonderland, which was originally called Alice's Adventure in the Underworld or something. But anyway, we see DMT mentioned again. Where? When Neo goes to see the Oracle in the waiting room. There's a kid that's levitating little children's blocks. Okay? That has meaning because there's a helicopter, and then there's a helicopter scene later on in the movie where Neo becomes aware that he is the one. Okay? That little helicopter on that block. But, and there's a little grasshopper in the block, a picture of a grasshopper. That means this kid bending spoons with the bald head is who? Kwai Chang Caine from the TV show Kung Fu. The little grasshopper, his nickname was Grasshopper. Okay? So Kwai Chang Caine, to graduate being a Shaolin priest, had to grab the pot of red hot coals, burn tattoos into his forearms. What were they? On the left was dragon. He represents man, and the tiger on the right. DMT. Dimethyltryptamine. So anyway, Kwai Chang Caine, 1972 TV series featuring David Carradine. The name Kwai means to return or go home. It's a Cantonese transliteration. It can also mean osmanthus, or fragrant flower. Chang has many associations, shares a connection to Zhang with a ZHANG, and also is a Korean spelling. All right, so what we learn in the Oracle scene is Neo was a potential. So were all those children, okay? And potential If you think of electrical potential, the reason you get shocked when you touch something is you have less potential than what you touched, or you have more potential than what you touched. So the electrons are zapping you because they're transferring from you to it or from it to you. You go, ah, that's potential. That's electrical potential. Okay, I don't want to go down that road really in depth, but if you dive into the scene with Mr. Smith when he puts the thing in Neo's belly button, he talks about Morpheus. And when you see the chair scene, there were, I believe, two separate scenes involving the Naugahyde leather chairs where Neo and Morpheus are having a dialogue. Morpheus tells Neo, you're not the first. There was someone before you. So he's alluding to what? The fact that Mr. Smith was up here. Morpheus is the middle on my diagram. Molybdenum. This represents Moses. And the character who played Morpheus in an interview said Morpheus represented John the Baptist or Noah. I can't remember which one he said. I think he said John the Baptist. No, it was Moses. Molybdenum. Where was Moses buried? Go look it up. Don't be lazy. He's buried at the foot of Mount Nebo. Nebo. Was not allowed to go into the promised land. He sinned against God. So Joshua had to take them in. So Nebo is niobium. Who was Morpheus' girlfriend? Niobe. Come on, people. It's right there in the periodic table. It's also in the Bible. And what Mr. Smith says to Neo is Morpheus, considered by some to be the most dangerous man that ever lived. Who is Morpheus? He's morphine. Heroin comes up again. Drug of choice. What's the next layer down? That's Neo, neodymium. Jesus hanging between the two thieves. Promethium on one side. Praseodymium on the other. We just talked about it. Guys, they're using your own Bible against you. You don't even realize your Bible narrative is King Solomon's temple, is the periodic table doubled, just like I have in my graphic. Your church leaders gave this away in the 1900s, late 1800s, when they realized, hey, this has a shape now. What is that shape? It looks very familiar. And they went, I'll be damned. That's King Solomon's temple. How many times have you heard, oh, they're still looking for King Solomon's mines. He got that gold from somewhere. Center line, your body, heart is on one side more than it is on the other. It's over here. Look at the temple items. Certain ones were on one side of the temple only. Come on, guys. I know you can do this. It's not hard. Come on, man. But anyway, let me get to this graphic. You notice I got the DMT for you, right? DMT. Actually, I have it wrong because David Carradine's tattoos, these would be reversed. Doesn't matter. But anyway, you'll notice there's a lot of threes, sets of three. So you can say this row is Mr. Smith, Jones, and Brown, and then you got Neo, Morpheus, and Trinity. Okay? And then Switch and APOC over here would have Cypher. This is Cypher's TV monitors. Now, if you notice, you'll notice this and half your periodic table look very similar, don't they? This is Ed's Castle sideways. You're used to seeing it this way. This is Noah's Ark. So that graphic is when Neo walks into the room behind Cypher. Cypher's about to betray everybody. And what does Cypher say? He goes, oh, geez, you scared the bejesus out of me. Another hint, right? And by the way, you know what bejesus is? Lithium and beryllium. Bejesus. What does that represent? I told you Lucifer went right to left, and Adam and Eve went left to right. He regressed, and they progressed. He declined, they inclined. They started out as lithium and beryllium outside the temple. They sinned. God forgave them because they were contrite. They did the right thing. But God did punish them. But he still clothed them and brought them into where? Where Lucifer just came from, over carbon. H1, Lucifer, Satan, the great Satan, Khufu, the great pyramid. He came from over here and ended up over here. They started over here and ended up over here. And through Jesus' power of the Spirit, their children, us, can go and become into the Holy of Holies. So right now, they're in the what? AI, the altar of incense over carbon. And they have the power to go into the Holy of Holies where the Ark of the Covenant is. If you read your Bible, there's a character called Hushi the Arkite. This dives into a real deep rabbit hole, people. Who is she? Wait a minute. You're saying that there's this female version? Yeah. It gets into the two giants in the Bible. The vision Nebuchadnezzar had of the metal man, his legs were together. Jesus' legs are together, but they're crossed. Kind of the same thing, but a little different. But Goliath's legs were separate. Right? That's because there was a bifurcation. You notice down here, the two halves, these are the 2 feet. That's the bifurcation. There's a good version over here, and directly across from it is what? The bad version. The good version is Adam and Eve. The bad version is, think of all the couples in the Bible that were bad. You got Sapphira, Ananias and Sapphira, bad examples. Jezebel and Ahab, bad examples. You could say Kali and Shiva, that's who they represent. Hinduism and Christianity and Judaism are connected. One's not this evil thing. They do have black tantric and white tantric. That is what black tantric and white tantric are. Okay? And you get into the character of Hushi the Arkite. Who was the antithesis to Hushi? Ahithophel. I hate to fail. This is the common theme throughout the Bible. Male, female, positive, negative, repulsive, attractive. It's always binary. Hushi the Arkite and Ahithophel are Adam and Eve. God versus the devil. The constant struggle between light and dark. Cain killing Abel. And then there's that center point where we see Seth comes into the picture because Abel was dead. Cain got banished. And Seth was born, and he took after his father, who was infrared light or red light. Adamo, red man. The mother was evening. Evaporate. Evil. Shiva. Kali. Alkali earth metals. So we see the legs of this image are split. And there's always a good version and a bad version of the same thing. This side over here, bing, 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 good version. This side over here, bing, 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 bad version. And guess what? To throw some real confusion into the mix, look at the planet. Summer in the North Pole, winter in the North Pole. Summer in the South Pole, winter in the South Pole. What's good for the North Pole, bad for the South Pole. Good for the South Pole, bad for the North Pole. Guys, it's the flip-flopping. It's the crisscross. It's when Jacob took his Ephraim and Manasseh, his two grandsons, and crossed his hands. That's the equatorial region where our weather spins up. Very important part of the planet. I talk about Orion's buttons and Orion's belt. The pyramid complex works both ways. At one point, it was this way, and today it's this way. It wasn't always that way, most likely, when it was built. So, like I get into in other videos, you got to watch it. It's a spun up gyro. It's a gyroscope. It took a long time to figure this out. But when you grow up in Christianity, they don't tell you about this other side. You'll look at world history and you'll listen to the testimony of people that will tell you they saw a woman, warrior, in a battlefield touching certain dead people. And they're like, oh my God, that must be evil. No. That could be Mary, Elizabeth, Mary Magdalene, who became good. She started as a prostitute but got right. Those are the good women. By the way, go down where Jesus is hanging. Who's at his feet? Uranium, protactinium, and plutonium. That's Jesus' mom and her two friends. You could also say John, the apostle, is connected with that because he was also at the feet of Jesus, and Jesus gave his mother to John. He said, "Woman, behold thy son." In other words, I'm gone now. Take him. He's my favorite, and a lot of people say that John has never died, and there's a lot of proof that that could be true. Could be listening right now. So you'll notice there's two rows down here. And you'll notice when you double this, there's a row here and a row here. These are the classrooms outside the temple. If you add up niobium, molybdenum, and technetium, technetium is 43. If you do the digital root of 43, you get what? 7. 4-2 is what? 6. 4-1 is what? 5, 6, and 7. That was the lengths, the dimensions of these classrooms. That's why I have 5, 6, and 7. And they had a spiral staircase that went from the second to the third level. Gee, I wonder why. They represent the side door to Noah's Ark, the spear that pierced Jesus' side. This comes up over and over in the Bible, because it's found in the wall of the temple, which is the periodic table. It's all in these movies, people. These people, these leftists that are promoting DMT use, heroin use, they say, oh, we're not glorifying it. Listen, if you're a young man and you're frustrated in life and you haven't done, pardon my language, shit, playing video games, sitting in your mom's basement, and you're like, I'm not going anywhere in life. Yeah, because you haven't done anything. And you're like, I know what I'll do. I'll take DMT. Wrong. Wrong. You're listening to Graham Hancock, all these people, Paul Stamets, okay? There are certain people like them. They're not like you. They're exceptions. Joe Rogan's one. Okay, actually, technically, Joe doesn't qualify. Let me think about this. He may or may not. I don't know. You have to ask him. But a lot of these people were established, brilliant people. They were brilliant writers, very creative, very smart, natural, gifted people. Okay, Paul Stamets is extremely gifted in a very strange way. Like, what's the effect? The Hutchison effect? The person that's named after, Hutchison, he's the same way. He's a genius, but nobody really knows how to quantify the type of genius that he is. Very difficult to nail down. But you're trying to be like these people. You're not, man. You got to get out there, join the military, go to college, work on a job for 20 or 30 years, and you have to. Well, Jesus talks about the man who worked in the field and he found a buried treasure in the field. He covered it up and he waited until he had enough money. He bought that section of the field and he became rich because he knew what was buried there. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go out and hard labor. DMT comes out through what? Hard work, stress. You go to sleep, your body releases it. It comes to you in spoonfuls, loving spoonfuls. You're looking for a dose of it. You're trying to cut the line. You're trying to cut around everybody. You say, well, Led Zeppelin got into heroin. They regret it. Listen to their testimony. Did things happen as a result? Look at right now, Dylan. He's saying, I sold my soul to the devil. And people are like, oh, he's a Satanist. No, he's talking about heroin. And he's saying, man, you can't write songs like I wrote without doing that stuff. That's wrong, Bob. You're wrong. Listen to other addicts and they'll tell you, no, that gift was always in you. And what you did is, by taking those drugs, you brought it out quicker. But then everything that drug gave you, it took away. If you had just gone through life spoonful after spoonful, getting your DMT, getting your... Guys, if you're really getting banged up like I have in life, a lot of people end up in medication because they're in the hospital. I got cuts all over my body. I don't go to doctors. I don't go to hospitals, but I've been pretty banged up. And I've only had to rely on codeine 1 or 2 times in my life. But you'll get that stuff. And those things will come to you through banging your body up. If you think you're going to go out there and sell your soul to the devil, like Bob Dylan just recently said, good luck, because 9 out of 10, 99 out of 100 people just die. They never achieve what those people are after. It's wasted talent. It's a lie. So, are there people that can do DMT and ayahuasca and all this stuff? Yes. I tell you that these returning veterans that are banged up and they've seen a lot of stuff, yeah, they qualify. But they have to be watched very carefully. And don't ever do that stuff unless you know everybody around you who's watching what happens. Because these Hollywood stars that go into these DMT blackouts, they bring little kids in the room, take pictures, and now that studio owns that guy's life. This has happened. Guys, you need to wake up. Don't ever go to those things unless you know everybody around you. When you go into that blackout state, you better have friends that are watching you carefully and know who's got video cameras, who's filming it, the whole 9 yards, the things that come out of you. Better watch out. There's a lot of evil people out there that want to control you. They want to tell you how to live your life and what to say on your podcast or how to write your music. Guys, wake up. You ask any of these Hollywood stars, these musicians, is this guy right? He'll say, yeah, he's more than right. So this is like layer 1. There's many other movies. Like I say, Fifth Element, Gary Oldman, brain starts leaking the black goo. What does that represent? Everyone who interfaces with this black orb out in space, this evil, what is it? It represents different things. Okay? You could say adrenochrome. Rot, it's brain rot. You know the band Parliament? It was the guitar player for Parliament. He wrote the song Maggot Brain. It actually comes up in a movie. I believe it's Dave Chappelle's movie, the weed smoking movie. The actor says they got maggot brains. The guy who plays the big drug dealer. That's what maggot brain is. It's the brain rot. It's the black ooze. You get it from heroin use, political, turning politics into a religion will rot your brain. It can be pure evil. These things that people they're doing today. Adrenochrome is a form of Antichrist or Antichrist. That is part of what adrenochrome stands for. It's a chemical version of this guy that's going to come that we call the anti or Antichrist. The guy saying, I come before God, or I'm above God. The ante meaning before Christ. Or anti meaning he's against Christ. Take your pick. Adrenochrome qualifies as a type of that. That's why Jesus said there's many antichrists. That it's just the one. There is going to be that one final one. But I don't want to get down that road, but we've covered it in other videos. So anyway, Matrix covers a lot of territory, and it's a good introduction to other movies where you see these things and they keep coming up. Do you know what else black ooze is? You look at the earth, it's petroleum. It's oil, people. Ocean water, if it had iron in it, would be almost identical to human blood. People say oil is the blood of the earth. No, it's not. Ocean water is, seawater is. Okay? Oil, petroleum, is the brain rot. It's the decay. That's why Mordecai in the book of Esther, he represents carbon. He represents the middle pyramid. Khafre, who was Haman the Agagite? Well, it's either fluorine or it's lithium. All right? Because either way, Lucifer fell. He occupied all three. So that cross point, that node, is where Satan and man crossed paths. That's carbon. Okay? Mordecai, moral decay. The altar of incense, AI, artificial intelligence, AIIA, depending on which side, the good side or the bad side. On one side it's AI, on the other side it's IA. And you can reverse it. You can put the A on the inside or on the outside. Guys, you got to wake up how this works. It's really not that hard once you figure it out. Okay, on that center line, that's your equator. The weather changes. Jacob crosses his hands. Jesus crossed his feet. That's what that represents. All right, so I'm pretty much going to leave it right there. I'll touch on these different movie themes. I'll insert a little bit as I go. And remember, my disclaimer is what? This is my opinion. I'm not speaking for the writers, the script writers, the original author, the actors, the actresses, the movie companies, the companies that promote the movies, the studio, any of these studios. I'm not speaking for them. I'm not part of them. I'm just a civilian with the right to free speech telling you what these people are putting in these movies. And you go, well, does it really matter, man? What does it matter? Well, okay. Do you want me to drill a hole in the roof of your house? You'd be like, no, that'd be crazy, because that little hole, tiny hole, after a year becomes about an inch big. And geometrically, it becomes big, and pretty soon you got no more house. That drop of water on your brain, buddy, is them spoon-feeding you lies. Oh, yeah, Neo's Jesus. No, he's not. He's the offspring of Smith, who is Satan. Guys, wake up. That's why he's playing John Wick, in my opinion. And you go, oh, so why is that important? Because, first of all, you need to wake up to the fact that the Bible is very scientific. It's this. Your church leaders never told you that. They jumped in bed with the esoteric orders who said, hey, you know, Jesus is the devil. We'll show you. Just like they show you in the movie. Hey, man, Neo is a good guy. No, he's not. Gotcha. As some famous comedian would say, ha! Right? Gotcha, bitches. Sound familiar? They sneak it in on you. And they took those church leaders they had no idea that this was what it was. They didn't understand. And they were shown, hey, man, Lucifer is the pyramids, man. And he's God, man. Because look, he's in the Holy of Holies here. Yeah, man. No. Nope. Never was, never will be. Man cannot be God either. Jesus took on carbon as a nod to humans, as a blessing, an outpouring of forgiveness, to prove the love God has. Lucifer can never know that. Lucifer is incapable. Hydrogen, the letter H, the H blocks in Puma Punku, that's hate. Those are hate blocks. That temple was destroyed, no doubt in my mind. That had to do with Lucifer, the fall of Lucifer. Those H blocks, that construction technique, was back in the day when Lucifer started out as God's friend. And God was saying, you're not my friend anymore. But man, carbon, has been given this special unction. We'll call it an unction, a dispensation from God. And we have to take advantage of it, because if we don't, we end up outside the temple in the outer court with his weeping and gnashing of teeth. Okay, notice weeping and gnashing of teeth. Where does that happen? Calcium. This is a jawbone of what? A donkey, a crocodile, a behemoth is a hippopotamus. These are the teeth of the crocodile. Where do you find calcium? Right there. The Canaanites. If you read your Bible, it's all in there, man. There's so many crisscrosses. People say, oh, no, that ain't what that is. You got pareidolia. No. If you're jumping over all these clues, pal, you are a shitty detective. You just found the casings of the bullets that match the murder weapon, a bullet lodged in soft material to match the twist in the barrel, blood matching, and you jumped over all that and said, oh, this was clearly this guy stabbed that guy and ran away. The guy's got bullet holes in him. There's the gun. No, that ain't what that is. Guys, that's what you're doing. You're jumping over mountains and mountains of physical evidence in different forms. They're literally showing it to you. Ha ha, we know this, you don't. I don't know about you, but I'm not that kind of Christian. I get into a room and I go, something ain't right, man. This Bible thing, it just ain't jiving. And all my friends are like, what do you mean? I go, something's missing, dude. You don't notice it? There's something weird, man. I know how to put a motor together. I was putting Triumph 650s, Harley Davidson, 1200s, 1000s. My brother had a 900 Sportster. We were putting those transmissions together and the piston rods and the whole thing, connecting rods and all the everything. I know how shit goes together, bro. And this system they got, something ain't right. Right there, bro. Right there, my sister. And it's sprinkled in all your books and movies. And you're going, oh, I don't see nothing. I don't hear nothing. Oh. You're like Moses. Oh, God, get it away from me. I don't believe in astronomy. Astronomy's a science, you dummy. It's how they told time in the Old Testament. They stood on the city wall with sextants, and they would call down the time and night. Watchmen, what of the night? Who are the watchmen? Men and women. MW. WM is watchmen. Binary. Adam, Eve, God, devil. Watchmen. It's the equator. When it's an M, you flip it, it becomes a W. The flip-flop and the crossing of Jacob's hands. Guys, they're like, oh, who are the watchmen in the Bible? Wake up! It's a binary system. How hard can it be, for God's sake? It's either a plus or a minus. Satoshi Nakamoto. Oh, wow. Oh, my God. North, south. Duh. North, south. 1, 0. Oh, I thought Satan was the one. Oh, that's another thing in the movie. Oh, Neo, you're the one. Hydrogen is the one. No, it ain't. Guys, I just finished asking you, why is it so important they drip this water on your forehead? They're spoon feeding you. Hey, man, hydrogen is God, cleverly disguised. No, it's not. Wrong. Wrong. Hit the brakes. They're about to program AI wrong. Gee, you think that could be bad? Why do you think these robots are trying to kill us, guys? They're like, oh, the 0 is the 1. Duh. Duh. Hey, guys, are you rotting your brain from too much DMT? Are you tripping out? Because the Bible already had this figured out a long time ago. They're like, yeah, that's outside the temple. That can't be the 1, bro. The 1 belongs in the Holy of Holies. By the way, H of H is H2O. Hydrocephalic. Fresh water, not salt. Pure fresh water. Little hint for you. Gee, what's the Holy of Holies? It's fresh water, which is what the earth was before it split apart and got big. Now it's all salty. Oh, what's this mountain in Revelation that comes in and hits and turns the seas to blood? Oh my God, what is that? Salt. Atlas, the guy holding up the planet. The mighty arms of Atlas hold the heavens from the earth. Sound familiar? Yeah. Turn the waters bitter. Whole bunch of stuff died when that happened. Is it going to happen again? Yep. There's another version of that. It's coming. But it is already here as well. Layering of the same onion. Over and over and over, people, till you get it. I'm going to rub your nose in it. It's going to come up in the biblical narrative until ad nauseum. Till you guys pull your head out of your rear end. It's always binary. All right, so I lied. I said I was wrapping it up. Got a little excited. But like I said, we're going to put more movies in. Lord of the Rings. Whole bunch of it in there. Right? Probably Black Ooze. Right? You look in that movie, I'll guarantee you'll find the Black Ooze. Right? Smoking the wide leaf or whatever. They were smoking the pipe together. Broadleaf. Ah, this is good broadleaf. Gee, I wonder what that could be. But anyway, we're going to leave it right there. And I'm going to do this in a 10-minute video for X. I'm sorry, a 2.5-minute video on X and Twitter. What's the other one there? What is it? TikTok. I'm going to do one about 10 minutes long for TikTok. So you're going to get this more than once because they ripped it down on me. Because I made a comment about Captain Kirk, not the one from Star Trek. Nothing to do with Star Trek. I'm throwing that out there. And all of a sudden, don't you think that's strange? They ripped that video down. Took all that video and made it disappear. Some of my best videos, my quick videos explaining this right here. And they don't like that. They don't want you to know about that graphic. They don't want you to know, wow, King Solomon's Temple is the Bible, is the periodic table, is Edward Lee Scanlon's Coral Castle doubled and the images slid in and out of one another? Yep. So simple. Once somebody shows it to you. And the Zodiac, you put Jacob's 11, it's technically 12 boys, but 2 of them are Gemini twins and the one girl. Like magic, all of a sudden you put that woman in there. Look at that. You get Virgo. Wow. Just like the Greeks. Oh, those Greeks, they're pagans. Yeah, no, they used the same system. They didn't have Jesus. They weren't the offspring of Abraham or Abram. And neither were the Hindus. The blessing went to the offspring of Abraham. People say, oh, that's the Sumerians. No, it ain't the Sumerians. Wrong. He came out of Chaldea. He was told to leave his people. They became idolaters. So God rejected that system. You say, oh, that the Bible stole from them. No. Wrong. Salvation came from a completely different individual in a special area God had set aside, which is Israel. But anyway, we won't get on that road. Peace out. All right, well, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and check us out in the links in the description below.